Welcome to Canvu TV. The first budget of the Abbott government was always going to be newsworthy. There's no doubt about that. The Abbott government takes the view it's a crisis budget. The opposition says this is confected, that is invented. They say there's no serious problem. Well, look, let's look at the facts. And the fact is we do have a very large debt which we didn't have before. And they point to other countries and point out that they don't, or they have bigger debts than Australia and they seem all right. The United States has a reserve currency which can be used to cover and protect its debt. Members of the European Union can always look to the wealthier countries to help them out, Germany in particular. In Australia we have no one to help us, and no one will help us, and probably no one should help us. It's a problem we created ourselves. The federal government has a gross debt of over 300 billion. Add to that the states and territories, another 300 billion. That's about 40% of gross national product. But the way to see what this means is to look at the interest bill. Just federally we're paying $12 billion a year in interest, $12,000 million. We could build about 4 hospitals the size of the new Royal Adelaide Hospital, which has 800 beds. We could buy the whole new fleet of aircraft that the government is ordering from the United States, the fighter aircraft for our defence. We could buy new submarines, we could build new roads, we could have more schools, we could put more people into employment. But instead, we're paying it to the money lenders. 12 billion federally, another 12 billion for the states, and this is doomed to increase unless we start reducing the principal. Well, what was it spent on? Did we get anything out of all this mad spending? They spent several $1 billion on the NBN. I would have thought that's a matter for a private organisation to provide. Macquarie says it's going to cost 96 billion, and there are reports recently that the whole thing is going to cost 200 billion. Governments don't do things very well. Then we had the Building the Education Revolution, which lost about 5 or 6 billion, although a government inquiry, a soft government inquiry, said it was left. It was lost by the big builders over-quoting and then getting smaller builders to build at cut-throat prices and then pocketing the difference. The Catholic schools did much better because they did it themselves. The state schools, particularly in New South Wales, the New South Wales Department of Education, did it very badly. And there are other examples of enormous waste. It's hard to see what we've got for spending so much money. We've got a few desalination plants, but they're not much useful, a few new roads, and we've got a couple of tunnels, one of which is completely useless because nobody is using it, the Cross-City Tunnel. We have to be more careful in the future. We have to restrain our politicians from wasting money, and of course, in the meantime, we or future generations just have to pay that debt, because otherwise we're going to have enormous interest bills. Until next time, this is David Flint for Can Do.